am Lamarsha Lewis. Let's talk. Welcome to I am Lamarsha Lewis YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about the trending subject, Meghan McCain and Joy Behar, two of the View's co-hosts. Today is Tuesday, January the 5th, 2021, and today is the second day of the return of the View since the Christmas New Year holiday break. Meghan McCain has been on maternity leave for the past 3 months because September the 28th, 2020, she gave birth to her daughter, Liberty Sage McCain Dominic, and she has been on maternity leave since giving birth, and she came back when the View came back after the Christmas holiday break. Yesterday was pretty much the first segment was her talking about her daughter, which was expected because, again, she's been on maternity leave, and they did what was right and let her show pictures for the first time. She actually showed actual pictures of her daughter because she had been sharing, like, first initial picture she showed was when she did a side view of the baby's head a little after she had gave birth, and she's been having, like, showing pictures of nothing but the baby's feet, and one was with her holding her daughter's hand, which, I mean, there have been cute gestures, and the baby is adorable. I have to acknowledge she's a beautiful baby. Like Joy told her on yesterday, she's a cutie, and she is. Yesterday, Meghan tried to come back being who she is, the Meghan McCain that we all know. Today, she really went for the dig and trying to be the Meghan McCain that we all know. And I knew when I was watching the episode today, the show today, I said, this is going to be a trending subject. Everybody's just going to take a hold of this, and it's going to be like wildfire. Lo and behold, it's already has hit the internet, many different news outlets, entertainment news, just, I mean, social media, Twitter. Everyone's already got pretty much the first fight between Meghan McCain and Joy Behar, because these two ladies are known to have some call it their cat fights, however, whatever you want to state it. In my opinion, I am not a Meghan McCain fan, and as many other people has said, it has nothing to do with her political views, because she has every right to whatever her political views are. But in my opinion, I will insert this note. I truly don't think when she meets, the things she says are her true views herself. I think she gets her talking points from basically her husband, being dominant, who is known for prejudice. He runs the Federalist. He's basically known as being a racist person himself. His dad works in the Trump administration. He's always on Fox News supporting Trump and just continuing the Republican rhetoric and lies and their talking points that they do. But and again, this is my opinion. I don't think when she be saying conservative this, conservative that those are her actually true views. She just gets the talking points from her husband and probably some of her friends. But she says she's on the show as a conservative. That's what her role is. That's who the party she represents, the Republican Party, and they are the party supposedly of conservatives, family values, but they do not exemplify family values. Again, going back to today's show, Joy Behar, as we know, each co-host is 5 ladies. You have Whoopi Goldberg, who is the moderator. Joy Behar, who has been there since the start of the show, and I believe this is the 23rd season, and Joy has been there ever since. There was one time where she had gotten fired, but they called her back, and she's been with the show ever since. So she is the one and only true original of the original View co-host when this show was started by Barbara Walters, who is a phenomenal lady. We all love our Miss Barbara Walters, and Bill Getty was also a person that started the show. In fact, when Miss Walters retired in 2014, it was stated that she sold all of her stock or however that goes to ABC. So therefore, she no longer has any affiliations, to my knowledge, if that's correct from what I've read and things I've heard and read. That when she retired, she basically relinquished all of her rights in regards to the show and how the show will be ran and all of that. But she is the person. It was her idea to get women at the table, and I love that. Like the late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg said, we need women at the table when decisions are being made and when we're having discussions of any type of importance. As we know, the woman is the head pretty much of a household. You're that mother, you're that nurturer. You lots of times it's just that woman in the household taking care of the household, taking care of her and her children, things of that perspective. So women are needed, but it was Miss Walters' idea to have 5 women from different political views, with different political views, different backgrounds, and different ethnics, and all of this just to come together at a table and have a discussion of your point of view, your thoughts, and all of this. And it was founded on having mutual respect. You may not always agree, and we shouldn't always agree. I mean, we all are our own unique individuals. That's how God made us. He made us in the image of Him, but we all have our own individuality, our own uniqueness, our own of what I bring to the table, what you bring to the table, things of that perspective. Even like I often say with identical twins, they may look identical. When you're looking at them, you can't tell one from the other, but they are still 2 different individuals. So that's the same for each and every one of us. We are all different individual people. We may agree and we may not agree. And when we don't, it's okay. We can disagree, but it's to do it with respect, as the Bible tells us, to do all things with decency. Be respectful one to another. And I don't want someone to just be a yes person to me or to just always be in agreement, because at the end of the day, I need someone that's true, someone that's valid. Hold me accountable, as I would want, and I would hope you would want me to hold you accountable. It's about accountability. So I have nothing against her political views. And as the conversation, or as the statement often be said, it's the delivery. She is rude. She's self-entitled. She was born, as many say, with a silver spoon in her mouth. Her mother comes from a very rich father from the state of Arizona. They say she's a trust fund baby. She's the daughter, as she often do not let us forget. She's John McCain's daughter, the late Senator John McCain. I must say, and this again, my views, my opinion, my thoughts on Meghan McCain. Mr. late John McCain and Mrs. Cindy McCain did not do a good job in rearing this woman. And she has now, at the age of 36, I thought she was 35 when she actually gave birth. Her birthday is in October, but she was 35 when she gave birth, and she turned 36 October the 23rd. She still acts like a toddler most of the time. She's spoiled and she's rude, but she has the audacity, as she did in today's show called Joy. She is, again, my opinion, she is Trump in a woman's body, a female figure. Nasty, using the word nasty and rude. You can call someone else that. You can acknowledge and say that about someone else. When do you ever look in the mirror? Because, as we know, as I was saying, it's 5 hosts of that show. Whoopi Goldberg is the moderator, and we all love Whoopi Goldberg. She's phenomenal, and she speaks for herself. She is someone that has been in the entertainment business for years and years, in fact, decades. So she's a very well-known lady that has much respect. Then you have Sunny Hostin, who is a former prosecutor, and she was formerly seen in commentator. Last year she wrote her first book, Sunny House and These Truths. She had a show that she was doing. I forget the show network that's on, but where she was going back speaking with families when there had been criminal cases about their loved ones and trying to give some closure. And you have Sarah Haynes. She had left and she came back after COVID season with the cancellation of the third hour show she was on, which started off with GMA Day, and then it went to Strahan and Sarah, then Strahan, Sarah, and Kiki. And occasionally we have Anna Navarro, who is the fill-in on Friday, and basically pretty much the fill-in when one of the other regular co-hosts are out. And you have Meghan McCain that joined in 2017 after the lady Jedediah left. Meghan McCain was the Republican conservative co-host, and this is really the only job that she's held this long. She was with the Fox Networks. Fox Number, I believe, was the show she was on with Harris Faulkner and some other ladies, and I think she maybe did a year and a half, 2 years, something of that nature. She's never held, and that has also been stated about Meghan McCain. She doesn't seem to have longevity at jobs. So this is the only job that she so far has actually stuck out the longest. Many people were hoping after she had her daughter that she would not return to the beat. And it was now announced right after Christmas that she would be returning when they came back for the new live shows after the Christmas break, which was yesterday, January the 4th, 2021. It was the return of Meghan McCain. Today is only the second day, and again, she went in trying to do an I got you moment. The Meghan McCain did, and it backfired on her because there are 5 ladies. They all are giving a certain time and so many minutes to respond whenever they have a question that's been put before them. They have a certain time that they get to give their response, their opinion, their thoughts, their concerns, and all of that. So we had gotten to where it was Joy Behar whose turn was to speak and give her thoughts, her views, her opinions. Meghan wants to chime in because Joy has said the Republicans aren't this, aren't that, and maybe, well, are you kidding me? I'm going to play a little clip of it for you, but Joy said, I'm speaking. Basically, it's my turn to speak. Let me get out. And see, and that's the thing. She didn't allow Joy to give her complete thought. Maybe if she would have allowed her to give her complete thought, she would realize Joy wasn't speaking, but if anybody with common sense. Just because I say the term Republican, it doesn't always apply to every Republican. But Meghan's got to always, one, take offense, two, like I say, be Meghan McCain and try to do I got you aha moment in the dig. And most of the time, like today, it backfired on her. She went on talking about, you miss me, her new catchphrase is, since I was on maternity leave, like she's the only woman that's ever given birth. Hello, you are not, and you won't be the last. But I see that's going to be the new catchphrase, probably at least for the next few months or so. When I was on maternity leave, because she even did it with their guests that they had on today. When I was on maternity leave, again, you're not the only woman to ever given birth to a child. Come on, grow up. But Meghan being Meghan, and Whoopi's like, stop. Everybody stopped. Sarah tried to interject to keep it from going, just totally out of proportion. Sunny, well, may I interject? May I, again, trying to realign the conversation so it wouldn't be derailed by a cat fight. I mean, ABC's The View became the #1 TV talk show. And this was within the 3 months of Meghan McCain been absent. Let that sink in. ABC The View became the #1 TV talk show without Meghan McCain, aka John McCain's daughter. But again, well, you miss me. You miss me when I was on my maternity leave, Joy. I didn't miss you, 0. And then I heard this. I didn't really hear it during the show in the episode, but after hearing the clip so many times, I was just teasing you. You're so rude. That's nasty. You're so rude. That's the old saying. That's the kettle calling the pot black. Rude, nasty, Miss Meghan McCain. Try looking in the mirror. Then you would get your true, valid definition of someone that's rude. And I would say this because I've said it on some social media platforms and other YouTubes, because again, this is the trending topic and subject right now. But Meghan McCain is a person, she's just someone that's hard to like. I remember when her father passed away, and when I was watching all the different events that they were having up until also the funeral, and watching her publicly grieve, and there's no doubt she loves her father. I loved her father. I believe that, and hey, most of us do. And most girls or young ladies, women are daddy's girls. I mean, that's just how it is. But I tried. I had empathy for her. I had sympathy. I had compassion, because like I say, seeing her had to openly and publicly grieve the man that she loved in the most respect, her dad. I got that. And I even remember when she came back to the show after she had took her leave in time, her grievance time, and when she came back, and all the co-hosts at that time, that's when Abby Huntsman had first joined the View, taking Sarah Haynes' place when Sarah had left. It was Sonny and Joy and Robert Brown was guest co-hosting that day. But they all railed around her with love, with empathy, with sympathy, with compassion, with humanness. And I'm like, okay, this is what I said. I'm going to give her a chance. I said, I'm going to give Meghan McCain a chance. And that's what I did. I tried. But it wasn't long before she went right back, resorted to being the Meghan McCain that we know. And that's someone that's very rude, who speaks from self-entitlement, like she's supposed to be this, she's supposed to be given that, only because she's Meghan McCain, John McCain's daughter, and I'm rich. I'm a white woman with privilege, as she's often said. I'm aware of my white privilege. She's just a hard human being to like. Sorry to say it, don't mean it to be rude, don't mean it to be taken with offense, but at the end of the day, it's the truth. And I've seen where some people were saying, well, what Joy said was rude by saying she didn't miss it. Well, one, if Meghan hadn't opened her big mouth, the statement wouldn't have been, Joy wouldn't have made her statement. Because Joy didn't ask for it. It was Joy's turn to speak. Meghan was rude, and then she kept it going instead of shutting her mouth after Whoopi, the moderator, asked her to stop. But Meghan being Meghan, she didn't. She refused. And she was the one that said, well, you missed me when I was on maternity leave. And George just simply, and we all often act out of the moment in simple, quick, instant reflex. You say this, I say that. I mean, it's a back and forth. It's instant. It's human nature. So let's be real. I'm the type of person, I try to own my own accountability. So Joy, whether she meant it, I think she did, because I don't think it's very much Joy Behar says, or really any of the women. Whoopi, especially Sonny, Sarah, Meghan, all of them. You, me. I don't think most of the time when we say something, it's what we mean. It's how we feel. And she just said, hey, I didn't miss you, 0. And she's not alone. Because like I said, it's many of us that didn't want her to come back and would be happy if she chose to go go home and raise her child or whatever she wants to do. Just leave the be. Like I read, she's just not a good fit. She should go back to Fox, because they spread the Republican talking points, the Trumpism. She fits in there. But it's the delivery. She's a rude, self-entitled person that seems to have no respect for anyone. And my question is, I wonder, is that in her contract to be rude? Is that what she's been hired to do? And like I said, it's written in her contract. I'm like, how long will ABC allow her to be this rude individual? In actuality, bitch. Again, just gotta call it for what it is. Just gotta call it for what it is. It's the delivery. It could be better. I'm gonna play, like I said, it's on. You can just Google. If you go to Google, it's gonna be there. Joy Meghan. But I'm gonna play a clip that we can listen to. And this is from someone at Twitter. Joy Behar tells Meghan McCain, "I did not miss you while you were off maternity leave. 0."
The progressives versus the moderates. The Republicans fight amongst themselves. On the one hand, you have the Republicans. On the other, you have the seditionists. That's the fight that's going on in the Republican Party right now. In the Democratic Party, you have the progressives versus the moderates, which is, de rigueur, as they say. It's what it always is. It's typical politics. The Republican Party is in much more trouble right now because you have really traitors.
You have AOC saying...
Excuse me, am I done? I'm not done.
Well, it's just that's completely inaccurate. You have AOC fighting right now about whether or not she's going to end up primarying Chuck Schumer, coming out not saying she has the full support of Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. You have the squad that's coming out very intensely, very angry that Biden hasn't filled his cabinet with more progressives. Bernie Sanders also coming out saying he's angry. The idea that there isn't fighting within the Democratic Party as well. I know
I was talking. Right. I'm talking about.
Somebody has. Yeah. You missed me so much when I was on maternity leave. You missed me so much. You missed fighting with me.
I did not miss you.
Okay, somebody answer the question.
Can I weigh in? You know what? That's so nasty.
I'd like to weigh in.
So nasty.
Can I weigh in?
Okay, guys,
rude.
Hold on. Stop. Everybody stop.
That's so rude.
This is not the way to. This is not.
So that was that. And again, that was a clip from a gentleman that just one tweet that I come upon. Like I say, Meghan being Meghan, but she can never take what is given back. That old saying, you can dish it, but you can't take it. That's Meghan McCain. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And then when Whoopi, like I said, tried to interject, said stop, Meghan, again being Meghan, like she's even done many times with Whoopi, continuing to go on and on with the rudeness, the fight back. Because she likes that. She likes the fight. Because one, it does what it has done today. It gets her name, Meghan McCain, trending. It makes her relevant. Because in reality, she's not really a woman that's relevant. She's just known as John McCain's daughter. And if it wasn't for being John McCain's daughter, I don't think she would actually have that seat that she has at the meeting. Because to my knowledge, she only has an art history degree. She's not a journalist, no computer science or political science or anything like that. She just born with a silver spoon in her mouth, rich, trust fund baby, and she's John McCain's daughter. And let's add white privileged woman who acts as a spoiled brat, Meghan McCain, who recently gave birth to a child. So who knows what the rest of the week, who knows what's to come, because she's back. I guess she's there to stay. Only time will tell. But it's all in the delivery. If she wasn't such a snotty, rude individual, she can be received better. She would even be liked. But she's not. and why everything has to be about her. Just like yesterday, she was talking about when mothers should have paid maternity leave. And yes, everyone, and as Sarah pointed out, fathers too. What she wanted to just be about mothers because, and I think that's probably a talking point her husband put in her head. Well, Meghan, you going back to the View. You got to come back with a bang. You got to come back with something up. Important topics. You just gave birth to our daughter. Why don't you talk about now or advocating for maternity leaves for mother? And as Whoopi said on yesterday, we've been trying to do that forever. So guess what, Meghan McCain, John McCain's daughter, you're not the first to come up with the idea, the thought that all mothers need paid and more time for maternity leave. As you said, it should just be Meghan McCain. And trust me, sweetheart, it's not about you at all. So don't flatter yourself that much. That's one of your issues and problems. You flatter your own self. You toot your own horn too much. And it's not necessary. So, she's back on the View. I'm tired of seeing the promotes of our Meghan McCain is back because we all know majority of the people behind the scenes don't like this woman. She tried to get the hairstylist Karen fired, but Whoopi stepped in like, y'all leave Karen alone. And Karen's a very nice lady. And this was just all because Meghan saw where Karen liked a tweet about her. Anyone can like what he or she chooses. And if it's something that's about Meghan McCain, she doesn't like it, who cares? This world does not revolve around you. Your parents may have made you feel like that. That's why you're the individual that you are. Again, your parents did a very poor job at rearing you and raising you. In fact, you probably was reared and raised, because I heard you use the term my nanny. So you basically just raised yourself, because we know your dad was pretty much always gone, because he was a United States Senator, being in D.C. as well as traveling and all of that. And there was issues with your mother. We all are aware of that. You don't seem to have a relationship. Her mother is a rich heiress. Like I said, Meghan has the term, or is known by the trust fund baby, because of her mother, whose father had a beer factory in the state of Arizona and left his fortune to his daughter, Cindy Lou McCain. And Meghan and her siblings all have an inheritance of that. But it's only her father that we often hear her speak about. Every now and then she'll say my mother. It's like when she mentioned yesterday that her husband, and it was her mother-in-law that had to help take care of her. I would have thought her mom would have been there. That was very interesting to me. But she very rarely speaks of her mother. So it can only be assumed just from what is given and perceived as. I don't think there's a real close-knit relationship between the two of them. She seems to have a good one with the younger brother, Jimmy. I don't hear her ever really talking about John McCain the third, I believe it is. They call him Jack. He's married to a black woman and they have a son. I don't really ever hear her talk about him. Very few times she has talked about their adopted sister, Bridget. Never hear her talk about John McCain's first actual biological child, Sydney, the daughter that he had with his first wife, who is his first biological. And we never hear from Sydney saying, I'm John McCain's daughter. We just know that he does have another daughter, another actual biological daughter, as well as adopted daughter. But Meghan McCain, boy, I'm John McCain's daughter. And then there's the two brothers that was adopted. Doug, who's been on the show twice a few years ago while he was there during the Christmas season. And then there's Andrew. But it's always about Meghan McCain. Why does everything always have to revert back to me? As Minnie says, me again, Kane. Meghan McCain, John McCain's daughter. Hang in there, folks. This is to be continued. She's bad. I am Lamarsha Lewis. Let's talk.